All right, so now we'll be talking about the control accounts and the reconciliation. The first thing first, why we are making the control accounts. Now, the answer to this question is that when you talk about the day books, like the day books means the books of prime entry, the day books, and or the books of the prime entry. For example, we talk about the sales day book, sales day book. Now, within the sales day book, we have the credit sale. All of the credit sales are recorded within the sales day book. So what is the general format of the sales day book? So the general format is, for example, you have the customers like A, B, C, and then we have the descriptions. And then we have some amounts, which is net of VAT. VAT is not included in that particular amounts. And then we have the value added tax. And then we have the total amount, which includes the VAT and the sales. So this is the simple format of the sales day book. Like we have the customer A, B, and C, then we have the descriptions. And then this is the net amount. Net amount means the VAT is not included within this. And then we have the VAT amount, and then we have the last figure, which is the total figure. Now, sales day book produces many balances. So you see, we have the total of the A, how much we have to receive from A because it's a sales day book, so it's a receivable. Then we have the balance of the B, sorry, and then we have the balance of the C. So these balances are the individual balances. So you see, we from the sales day book, we have the individual balances. And then we have the totals, the total of the sale, the total of the VAT, and the total of the receivables. This is the total of the sales that go to the statement of the profit or loss. This is the total of the VAT we have collected from the receivables. So basically it's a liability. This goes to the liability section. And this is the total amount that we need to receive from the receivable. So this is the receivables or the debtors. Now, when we are doing the accounting, mainly we are concerned regarding the figures within the financial statements. Like, for example, you talk about the users of the financial statement. They just see the financial statements and they see the figures from it. Like they will see the total figure of the sales. They will not be aware that how much A owes to us, how much B owes to us, because when we make the financial statement, is a total figure that is being presented over there. Similarly, the sales tax is the total liability that is being included within the financial statements. We have no breakdown that how much tax from we have collected from the A, from the B in the financial statement. In the financial statement, we cannot find those details. Similarly, in the current assets statement of financial position, we have the total figure of the receivable. You cannot find the breakdown over there that how much you need to receive from A and B and C and D, etc. So remember, when we talk about making of the financial statement, preparation of the final accounts, we are only concerned regarding the total figures, and these total figures are produced from the day books. Like we can see, okay, we can get the total figure of the sales, we can get the total figure of the liability, we can get the total figure of the receivables. Alongside, from the day book, we can have the individual balances as well, the detail of the individual balance, how much A owes to us, how much B owes to us. But these individual balances does not become part of the double entry bookkeeping system. Because when you talk about the double entry bookkeeping system, we are only concerned regarding the total figures that goes to the financial statement. But yes, these figures are important for the decision making. We need to know how much we need to receive from A. So these figures is for the internal, you can say, objective. These figures have the internal objective. We need to know the list of balances. How these are the list of balances. The list of balances means how much we need to receive from individual receipts. Similar is the case with the purchase day book, where we have the credit purchases. There we have the purchases figure, again the VAT figure, and then we have the total figure of the payable. So from the day books, we get the total figures, and then we have the list of balances as well. Now, how we can relate this concept to the control accounts, and then we have the reconciliation thing. Now remember that control account is simply the nominal ledgers and the general ledgers. The nominal ledgers, general ledgers, the nominal ledgers in which we have the total figures. So these are the nominal ledgers and the general ledgers where we have the total figures. So any T account, any ledger where we have the total figures, total figure of the receivable, total figure of the payable, total figure even of the sales or the VAT is known as the general ledger or the nominal ledger. And we can also relate it with the control accounts. Now, why we make the control accounts? We make the control accounts because there are two figures, these total figures and then the individual figures. Ideally, when we cost these individual balances, when we total these individual balances, like for example, if I add A, B, and C, this figure should be equal to the total figure which is generated from the day book. So basically, control account, as the name suggests, is an arithmetical control we are having. That okay, that when you are posting the transaction within the day book, there may be some errors within the posting. So basically, the check is that maintaining the control accounts, which is part of the double entry bookkeeping system. And yes, you have the list of balances as well, because when you total the list of balances, the total should be equal to the balance we are having in within the control account we are having within the general ledger. So control account, as the name suggests, so control account, as the name suggests, is basically an arithmetical control. How this is an arithmetical control? So the total of the list of balances, that means the individual balances, should equal to the control account figure. So ideally, it should be equal to the control account figure, but if it is not, then that means there are some errors within the posting of those transactions. And then once you have identified those errors, you need to reconcile these balances. So the next step is the reconciliation. The first, you make the control accounts, and then the next step is the reconciliation.